Hi guys, and welcome back to UKFlyFisher. Today I have another fly tying demonstration for you, and we're going to be tying the Cutthroat Shaggy. It's a great fly from September through to March, but it really comes into its own when the fish start hitting the fry. I've decided to tie it this month so you can get it tied up and tested out next month, and let me know how you get on with the fly. Starting with the hook and a vise, which is a size 10 short shank special from Elite Flies, and we're going to be using a fluorescent fire orange 140 UTC tying silk. Just going to come in just behind the eye, tie about 5mm back, and then go halfway up that back towards the eye. And then I'm going to come in and snip away my excess. Now for the eyes, we're going to be using fluorescent orange chain beads from Flybox. If you don't have the eyes, you can always use a bead, either a hot orange or a gold head would work really well. But we're going to start by just securing in the eyes. Until we get it nice and tight at the front of that fly. Yep, they're now not going anywhere. And then we're just going to put down a layer of tying silk. This is just so the tail doesn't spin when we tie it in. For the tail, we're going to be using a white Marabou. Again, I'm using Flyboxes here. It's a nice material to work with. Plenty of usable fibres on the feather. And we're going to take quite a generous pinch. As you can see there, there's about 1.5 inches, maybe even pushing on to 2 inches for this fly of material. Pull it off and then just grab it together. Give it a little twist to see how it's sitting. Pull out any loose fibres, like so. And then just come in and trim away all that material that was attached to the stem. And then we're just going to tie our tail back down the shank of the hook underneath to keep it on top, like so. Now that tail's a bit long. Again, we're going to be aiming for 1.5 to 2 times the length of the hook. So I'm going to come in and pinch away all the waste pieces until I'm happy with how the tail sits. And that's looking pretty good to me. If you want, you can wet your fingers slightly just to give you more control when you're tying and see how things will sit when they're a bit wet. As you'll notice with me, I like a bit of flash in the tail, and this fly is no different with Krinkle mirror flash. This is the pearl version from Vineyards. We're going to put 2 strands on either side of the tail, like so. So I'm going to line them up on my side first, catch them in, tie them in place, and then we come up in between the eyes. I always like to do 1 turn towards the eyes, just secure it in, and then hold it down on your side before coming all the way back to the end of the tail, like so. And then I'm just going to cut them to the same length as where I finished the tail, like so. Now this tail and a little bit of flash gives it loads of movement, really helps around fry time. That flash is amazing, looks really fish-like. Then to give it plenty of colour, make it stand out and a lot of movement, we've got 2 medium crystal hackles in the body. The first 2/3 of the body are a fluorescent yellow medium crystal hackle, and then the front third of the body is a ultimate fire orange medium crystal hackle. You can get them both from Flybox, great material, adds plenty of movement into the fly. So I'm just going to tie this in about 2/3 of the way up the body and hold it as I tie back towards the tail. Just make sure it's going to go nowhere, and then come back forwards to where you finish tying it in. And then we're just going to take touching turns forwards. You can pull all the fibres backwards as you tie in, just to make sure there's no gaps and none of the fibres get trapped down. It doesn't matter if 1 or 2 get trapped down, but you want this fly to have lots of movement, and then by keeping them up, obviously it's going to have more movement in the fly. 1 more turn should do it, like so. And then I'm going to pull tight and come across it with my tying silk, trap it in with 2 turns behind and then 2 turns in front. Come in and snip away that waste piece. I'm going to wet my fingers slightly here and just stroke everything backwards, and then 2 more turns just to make sure it's all nice and tight. And then I'm going to come in with the Ultimate Fire Orange medium crystal hackle, pinch and loop tied down and then back towards the eyes like so. And again, we're just going to wrap in touch and turns, pulling any fibres backwards so we don't get anything trapped underneath and it all flows backwards as we go. As you can see here, loads of colour, loads of movement, all the main things you want when you're chasing rainbows. And then the last turn, you want to pull it up and between the eyes, come across with your tying silk, catching across it, and then pull everything backwards and just take 2 or 3 tight turns on top, like so. And then for this bit, I like using a Stanley knife, cuts neater. And then I'm just going to pull everything back and take 2 more turns in front and a couple of turns between the eyes just to build up a little hot orange head between them beads. And all that's left to do is come in with a little bit of varnish and your whip finishing tool and tie that fly off in front of the eyes. So a little bit of varnish there just to make it last longer. 1, 2, 3, and then pull backwards as always, clear the eye, and then come in and snip away your tying silk. And that is your Cutthroat Shaggy. So you can see there just how streamlined it gets. It's a great fry imitation, one to have in your box between September and March. It really is a great attractor to trout. Plenty of movement with the medium crystal hackle, and that fire orange really brings it to life. If you've enjoyed today's video, please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel to see all our future ties. All that's left to do is to say thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.